Every single day, different cultures around the world are quietly living in different years, different months, and sometimes even different centuries. From the Gregorian Calendar ticking away on your phone to the Hebrew, Islamic, Chinese, Hindu, and Ethiopian systems still shaping billions of lives, humanity never agreed on just one way to measure time. In this video, we're counting down 10 major calendars still used today, explaining how each one defines a year, a month, and a day, and why some drift through the seasons while others lock perfectly onto them. By the end, you'll know exactly why Ramadan moves, why Chinese New Year jumps around, and what year it really is. The Gregorian calendar is the one most of the world uses for business, school, and daily life. Pope Gregory XIII introduced it in 1582 to fix a problem with its predecessor, the Julian Calendar, which had drifted out of sync with the seasons. It defines a year as 365.225 days, adding a leap day every 4 years, except century years not divisible by 400, like 1900. That tiny math trick keeps the calendar aligned with Earth's orbit around the Sun to within about 26 seconds a year. Because it's the international standard, it's what stamps your birthday, your taxes, and New Year's Eve fireworks on January 1st. Even countries with their own religious or cultural calendars usually run the Gregorian calendar alongside it for government and commerce. Before Gregory fixed things, there was Julius Caesar's calendar, introduced in 46 BC on the advice of astronomers in Alexandria. It made every year exactly 365.25 days, so every fourth year got a leap day, no exceptions. That sounds simple, but it overcorrects slightly. So the calendar drifts about one full day off from the seasons every 128 years. By the 1500s, that drift had piled up to 10 days, which is exactly why the Gregorian reform happened. Today, the Julian calendar isn't gone, though. It's still used by several Orthodox Christian churches, including the Russian and Ethiopian traditions, to calculate holidays like Christmas and Easter. That's why you'll sometimes see Orthodox Christmas celebrated on January 7th instead of December 25th. The Islamic calendar, also called the Hijri calendar, counts its years from 622 CE, the year the Prophet Muhammad migrated from Mecca to Medina, an event called the Hijra. Unlike most calendars on this list, it's purely lunar, with 12 months each defined by the sighting or calculation of the new moon. Because lunar months average about 29.5 days, a Hijri year comes out to roughly 354 days, about 11 days shorter than the solar year. There's no leap month added to catch up, so the calendar slowly drifts backward through the seasons over a 33-year cycle. That's why Ramadan, the month of fasting, can fall in summer one decade and winter the next. It also explains why Islamic holidays never line up with a fixed Gregorian date, and why the current Hijri year is only in the 1440s, even though it's the 2020s in the Gregorian count. The Hebrew calendar is lunisolar, meaning it tracks the moon for months but nudges itself back into sync with the sun, so holidays stay in their proper season. Its year count traditionally begins at 361 BCE, reckoned as the creation of the world according to Jewish tradition, which is why a Gregorian year like 2024 corresponds to something like 5784 in the Hebrew calendar. A normal year has 12 lunar months totaling about 354 days, but 7 times in every 19-year cycle. An extra leap month called Adar II gets added, keeping festivals like Passover anchored to spring. This clever 19-year pattern is called the Metonic cycle, and it's shared with a few other calendars on this list. Beyond religious use, the Hebrew calendar still governs the timing of Jewish holidays, Sabbaths, and life events even in officially secular Israel. It's a great example of a culture blending lunar tradition with solar accuracy instead of choosing one or the other. The traditional Chinese calendar is another lunisolar system, and it's the reason Chinese New Year seems to jump around the Gregorian calendar every year. Months follow the moon, starting on the day of the new moon, but every 2 or 3 years, a leap month is inserted, so the calendar stays roughly aligned with the solar seasons, especially the winter solstice. That's why Chinese New Year always lands somewhere between January 21st and February 20th instead of on a fixed date. Each year is also tagged with one of 12 zodiac animals, like the dragon or the rabbit, cycling every 12 years, plus a set of 5 elements that stretches the full cycle to 60 years. The calendar still shapes major festivals, from the Lantern Festival to the Mid-Autumn Festival, and it's used across China, Vietnam, Korea, and other East Asian communities alongside the Gregorian calendar for daily life. It's less a rival to the modern calendar than a cultural layer running underneath it. The Hindu calendar isn't one single system. It's actually a family of related lunisolar calendars used across India and Nepal, with regional versions like the Vikram Samvat and the Shaka Samvat counting years differently, sometimes starting around 57 BCE. Months are measured using tithis, lunar days based on the angle between the moon and sun, which don't line up exactly with a 24-hour clock day, so a tithi can occasionally get skipped or doubled. Like the Hebrew and Chinese systems, it inserts an extra leap month periodically to keep festivals tied to the right season, since it blends lunar months with a solar year. This is the calendar that determines when major festivals like Diwali, Holi, and Navratri happen, which is why those dates shift around on Gregorian calendars every year. Different Indian states and traditions also use slightly different regional calendars for local New Year celebrations, like Ugadi or Vishu. So think of it less as one calendar and more as a shared toolkit of lunar-solar math adapted differently across a huge and diverse subcontinent. The Buddhist calendar shares its lunisolar mechanics with Hindu and Southeast Asian traditions, but it counts years from a different starting point: the death, or parinirvana, of Gautama Buddha, traditionally placed around 544 BCE. That means the Buddhist era year is roughly 543 years ahead of the Gregorian one, so 2024 CE becomes 2567 BE in Thailand, where it's the official civil calendar alongside the Gregorian system. Like its Hindu cousin, it uses lunar months with an inserted leap month to stay roughly synced with the solar year, and it's used officially or ceremonially in Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar. The calendar's biggest holiday is Vesak, which commemorates the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and death all on a single full moon day, though the exact date varies by country and tradition. It's a good reminder that what year is it really depends on which historical anchor point a culture chooses to count from. The Persian calendar, officially called the solar Hijri calendar, also counts from the year 622 CE and the Hijra, just like the Islamic calendar. But here's the twist: it's entirely solar, not lunar. Each of its 12 months is tied to the sun's position, with the year beginning precisely at the astronomical moment of the spring equinox, which is also the festival of Nowruz, the Persian New Year. Because it's based on actual astronomical observation rather than a fixed leap year formula, many consider it one of the most accurate calendars in use today, arguably more precise than the Gregorian calendar over long timescales. It's the official calendar of Iran and Afghanistan, where dates, contracts, and birthdays are recorded using it rather than the Gregorian system. So while it shares an origin story with the Islamic Hijri calendar, its solar math means it stays locked to the seasons, instead of drifting through them like its lunar cousin. The Maya of Mesoamerica didn't use just one calendar. They wove together several interlocking cycles with startling mathematical precision. The Tzolk'in was a 260-day sacred cycle, combining 20 named days with 13 numbers, used for religious and divination purposes. Running alongside it was the Hab, a 365-day solar calendar of 18 months of 20 days, plus a short 5-day period considered unlucky. Combine both cycles and you get the calendar round, which repeats every 52 years. But for tracking really long stretches of history, the Maya used the long count, a system that counts total days elapsed since a mythical starting point in 3114 BCE. That's the calendar that caused a viral panic in 2012. when one of its major cycles rolled over, leading to false doomsday predictions, when in reality, it was simply like an odometer clicking to a new set of digits. The Maya calendar shows just how sophisticated ancient astronomy could get without telescopes or modern math. The Ethiopian calendar is why you'll sometimes hear the fun fact that Ethiopia is 7 years behind the rest of the world, though that's really just a difference in counting, not an actual gap in time. It's derived from the ancient Coptic Egyptian calendar, which itself descends from the Julian system, and it calculates the birth of Jesus about 7 to 8 years later than the Gregorian calendar does, based on differing historical calculations by early church scholars. The calendar has 13 months, 12 months of exactly 30 days, plus a short 13th month called Pagum with 5 days, or 6 in leap years. Its new year, called Enkutatash, falls in September, right at the end of the rainy season. And it's still the official civil calendar used in daily life across Ethiopia and Eritrea, alongside the Gregorian system for international dealings. So an Ethiopian celebrating their birthday isn't younger than you. They're just using a different historical starting line for counting the years. So the next time someone asks what year it is, remember the honest answer is, depends who you ask. It could be 2024, 5784, 1446, or 2567 all at the same moment. Every one of these calendars is a snapshot of how a culture chose to anchor itself in time, whether by the moon, the sun, a prophet's journey, or a king's decree. If you enjoyed this trip through humanity's timekeeping, hit subscribe for more Every X Explained deep dives.